You had said back at the end of May that you thought risks were getting closer to being into balance. Is that still the case, or has your mind changed about the balance of risks out there? And also, could you give us an idea of what would be a sufficiently restrictive funds rate? Obviously the current rate, according to the committee, is not sufficiently restrictive. Is it 5.6? Is it 6 years, or sufficiently restrictive? Thank you.
I would say again that I think that over time, the balance of risks, as we've moved from from interest rates at effectively zero now to 5 percentage points with an SEP calling for additional hikes, I think we've moved much closer to our destination, which is that sufficiently restrictive rate. And I think that means, almost by definition, that the risks of sort of overdoing it and underdoing it are getting closer to being in balance. I still think, and my colleagues agree, that the risks to inflation are to the upside still. So we don't think we're there with inflation yet, because we're just looking at the data. And if you look at the full range of inflation data, particularly the core data, you just aren't seeing a lot of progress over the last year. Headline, of course, inflation has come down materially, but as you know, we look at core as a better indicator of where inflation overall is going. So I think what we'd like to see is credible evidence that inflation is topping out and then beginning to come down. That's what we want to see. Of course, that's what we want to see. And I think it's also, we understand that there are lags, but remember that it's more than a year since financial conditions began tightening. I think the reason we're comfortable pausing is that we are still, much of the tightening took place over last summer and later into the year, and I think it's reasonable to think that some of that may come into effect. So we're, I think stretching out into a more moderate pace is appropriate to allow you to make that judgment of sufficiency, with more data over time.